So I'm here with my son. He's got his YouTube channel, and I thought, hey, why don't I do a video with him and let's see how that's received, and then maybe I can help him with his subscriptions and his likes and the rest of it. So this is our experiment, part one, and title we're gonna put on this video, or topic rather, is gonna be what? Mr. Lighting Man. Divorce?
Yep.
So what are we going to talk about regarding divorce?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I told him I was going to lead this discussion, and he keeps leaving the video, so obviously this is a real rough edit, and it's a real rough topic, but it's a discussion that we can have because it's rampant in America. I think 50% of marriages end in divorce. At least it was that a few years back, and maybe it's gone up, I'm not sure. He's a researcher, so he can look it up. So the basic idea that I wanted to present or talk about or discuss on this video today in regards to divorce is basically how children are affected by divorce. So I want to start with asking my son one very simple starter question, and that's just, how did divorce of your mother and me ultimately affect you, since you were only 1 year old when we actually in fact got divorced? So from your perspective as a 12-year-old, how did divorce affect you?
Well, it kind of majorly changed my life, because like if you and my mom were together, life would be a lot different. I would be probably babied a lot more.
What do you mean by babied a lot more?
I would have things given to me a lot easier. Like over at my mom's house, it's completely different than my dad's house, because there's more freedom over here.
So what's the difference between living with your father and then living with your mother because of the divorce?
Well, my life has kind of been divided a lot more, in a lot more ways than you would probably think.
Explain that.
You get 2 birthdays, 2 Christmases.
I thought those would be good things. Basically, I think what this is amounting to is, what you're saying is, you would prefer just to have one if you had your whole house intact?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the earliest thing you remember from your mom and dad being divorced? Because I know as a 1-year-old, you have no idea what divorce even means. You can't even speak yet. So from your 12-year-old perspective, what is the earliest memory that you remember about your mom and your father's divorce?
Well, I remember going back and forth wondering why I would not see the other parent, but
Together?
yeah, now obviously I can understand why.
You need to look at the camera when you talk.
I can understand why now.
Okay, well, explain it from a 12-year-old's perspective. What is the earliest memories you remember of the results of the divorce?
Well, as a young child, like maybe around 4, I would always ask my parents why, and where's mommy, where's daddy?
At least you think you remember that. He never asked that. But
Or
anyway,
I asked
go
my
ahead.
mom.
Okay, we'll see. Go ahead.
And basically she would tell me that, she would tell me when I was older, so I didn't really understand that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so from there, the days and the weeks and the months and the years went on, and what were you thinking about this whole divorce thing?
Why? That's what I thought. Why? 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 Why?
Okay? Extrapolate on that. So you were wondering why from a very young age, and then what did you find out as you went along?
Well, I learned that divorce is kind of a common thing, because it happens to most people. Around like 50% of people, marriages, end
Don't be animated.
in divorce.
That's very annoying.
Why?
So, I guess another question I should ask, because it's prompting obviously insight to which 12-year-olds probably would never really think about in the context of divorce. But in you inquiring about why mommy wasn't there or why daddy wasn't there, how did you feel? How were you feeling about the situation where mommy wasn't with daddy or daddy wasn't with mommy? Because that's obviously the net outcome of a divorce is you're separated. And that divides the home and you're shared over here for a little bit of time and then you come back over here and then you're shared here for a bit of time and then you go back and forth. So how did that affect you?
Well, it affected me by not really like cooperating with my mom and my dad, and it kind of affected me in school too.
Okay, well, I'm trying to go back to even the earlier stages of when you were developing and you saw this divide and you went back and forth. How was that affecting you? What were you thinking? What was going through your mind? How did you cope?
It was kind of nice because I got a break from the other parent, and then a break from the other parent, and then I was kind of sad because I got separated from the parent, and then I would get sad because I was separated from the other parent. And then other times it would be like, yes, I'm finally away, and then other times it would not really affect me because I didn't really care sometimes.
So ultimately, where you're at now at 12 years old, would you say divorce was possibly a good thing or not?
Probably not.
And why would you say divorce was not a good thing for you?
Oh, for me, yeah, probably a good thing.
Okay, so you want me to
Yeah.
restate the question?
I thought you meant for like general, like,
Okay, you want me to restate the question?
yeah, for like other
Okay,
people.
so from your perspective as a 12-year-old now, would you say that the ultimate divorce between your father and your mother was a good thing for you or not?
It was a good thing because as a child growing up, I had a lot more freedom at different houses.
Excuse me? You had more freedoms?
Yep.
Go ahead, dude.
And so at other houses I would be restricted, and then at other houses I would not be restricted, and I would have more freedoms.
How early did that start? How early did you experience that difference?
Probably from the beginning.
So from where? For how far back could you remember it
3.
being that way?
At 3.
And do you remember the kind of things that were different?
Yep.
Can you state it?
No.
This only works if you're, candid in your answers. Other 12-year-olds might be out there and they may not have had this insight. And by you saying what your experience was at such a young age, they may be able to relate with you. Why are you letting that affect you? You can edit that out.
Sorry to disturb you.
You're not a very good video subject.
She's coming back for more!
I must be on the video.
No
Sorry.
way.
Sorry.
She's not sorry. Continue.
Okay.
So explain the differences from the early age that you can remember of the freedoms that you experienced in one household versus the other.
She's coming back
I'm
for
coming
more!
back. I'm coming back for more. Should be the last time.
She's going back for more money to go to the bank!
All right, that's good for now.
That's
That was
a
our
wrap.
part 1 for divorce.